Good morning and welcome to Shop Talk. I'm at Bridger Mountain Boutique inside the Carson Mall with Liz Andrews' booth. Good morning, Liz.
Good morning, Colleen.
I'm going to ask Liz a few things about the Esperanza Foundation. Can you tell us what that is?
Well, actually, Esperanza Foundation is my 501c3 nonprofit corporation, and our mission is to facilitate the healing of post-traumatic stress disorder in all of us. Number one, but we have specialized veterans programs of domestic violence that we're implementing, and it's very exciting. We utilize energy healing techniques and all kinds of stuff.
And what kind of energy healing techniques do you do?
Well, one of the main tools right now is the emotional freedom technique, and that's a big tool in order to release your physical reaction to that emotional trauma of that event.
Do you use massage or Reiki?
Yes, there's a whole gamut of energy healing techniques. Is Reiki and aromatherapy with the emotional freedom technique, positive affirmations, changing your thinking and your perspective. It's you identify, you perspectify, and you release that trauma within your life that's happened.
And if I were to come in and recognize the trauma in my life, how would I maintain that release?
Well, basically, we the techniques that we utilize at the Goddesses Shop right now is our action vehicle for the vision, and we would actually teach you to do what we do, so you can facilitate your own healing, your own self healing, because that's the only person who can heal you is yourself.
Understand that.
We can clear energy all day long, but it's all in the maintenance and all is in changing your thinking and your perspective on life and in adding more joy, and so you enjoy what you're doing and you can go after your dreams with gusto and no fear.
I could tell that you definitely live that life.
I'm putting it to the test, believe you me.
When you say the Goddess Shop, where is the Goddess Shop?
The Goddess Shop is located on 112 East John Street.
Right here in Carson City.
Right here in Carson City.
And how long has the Goddess Shop been there?
We've been in business since September of last year. So
oh my goodness,
we got 6 months under our belt.
And already I have heard the buzz about the Goddess Shop. That's incredible.
We definitely have started a buzz. Yeah, and it's been so much fun, and the awareness and spreading the love and, exposing people to different ways of thinking and different ways of doing things to care for our bodies, which in turn heals our spirits and heals the earth at the same time. So it's a bonus all the way around.
And you have some exciting news about the Esperanza Foundation. You're moving forward, and what is your vision for that?
The ultimate vision goes along with the concept of action plus immersion equals transformation, and that's spurring our ultimate vision, which is the Esperanza Awakening Center, and its immersion healing retreat in the forest. Love the forest, gotta have the forest. And which will immerse the client and totally clear them out and be able to be in a safe, sacred environment to practice these, to really go deep inside, identify the demon, perspectify it, forgive it,
and forget it.
Yeah.
And you talk about post-traumatic stress syndrome. How is it that you have come to know that?
Well, I had a touch of it myself.
Oh, you did?
Little childhood trauma growing up, and then I did spend 10 years in the military, I don't do anything easy, so I started off, Marine Corps style.
Nice.
Which is, I'm not disrespecting in any way the necessity to have our armed forces ready with the readiness and the over vigilance, because it's necessary to protect our way of life. But afterwards, you come to our reboot camp, and then you can realize and be proud of what you have seen and acknowledge that's a part of you. and forget it. And
And
you release
especially
that.
Vietnam era,
Yeah.
I just really hated the way that they came home, but I'm sure that they have some post-traumatic stress that wasn't recognized in the past
Yeah.
that you'll help them deal with.
Well, they call it all different. Back then, they called it like battle fatigue, or there was one soldiers having a soldier's mind, or they called this trauma that they were still experiencing because their memories were keeping it real for them, and which causes all kinds of, you either go on prescription medication or you do the self-medication in order to numb this horrific pain inside that has been caused by you witnessing these events or being in a firefight or any of that. So it's even the thing of me, it makes me a little jokey.
Oh.
But I mean, there's still time for even from Vietnam to even if they're even have an inkling inside that you want more out of life, and there's more to than just sitting there watching TV, maybe taking the walk and getting to know yourself again. So,
And last year, I participated in your Festival of Earthly Creations. You're having one again this May,
yes.
on May 18th, and where is that going to be?
It's going to be May 18th from 10 to 6 at the Carson City Community Center. We've doubled the size, extended the hours,
Nice.
and
And
it's
this is your 4th year?
four in 2 years.
Oh my goodness, that's
So,
right.
yeah, so we've been
Two a year.
having 2 a year because it's been so popular with the vendors and the participants. So,
And
it's,
the participants, what kinds of things do you have for, if I were to walk into your festival, what would I find?
all kinds of colors and shiny and energy and you will find a collection of healers displaying their talents and their powers and what they specialize in, from Reiki to massage to hand analysis to chakra clearing to biomat beds, aromatherapy, interactive workshop booths. We have an aromatherapy blending bar, which is the only one in Carson City at the Coffee Shop.
Oh, that's great. That is great.
And then we also have workshops. So we have a big schedule of workshops coming up, starting at, I do believe it's starting at 10:30, and we have half hours of snippets like how to use a pendulum, on chakra clearing, on all kinds of stuff. We're going to end up with a drum circle at 5:30, and we're going to rock that house.
We have a collection of drums here in the shop, and I will try to bring a lot of them.
That would be fabulous. That would be totally fabulous.
And you use the festival as a fundraiser?
Yes.
Is that correct?
It is a fundraiser for a nonprofit, and we use the proceeds to take our vision to the next step and to share with everyone and give back to the community. We do the Carson City Downtown Business Association wine walks, first Saturday of every month from 1 to 5, in which we have many readings and have many special guests, including Sandie La Nae.
And we're looking at
And
Sandie.
we're looking at her right now.
She's in our
She's a
audience
powerful
today.
woman, yes.
Yes, she
And then also we have there's just a myriad of all different kinds of things that could resonate with you.
I know the last one that you did, you had a jeweler there teaching people how to make jewelry.
Exactly, that's part of our interactive workshops.
And you had belly dancers.
That was another one. That was a fun one.
That was
Everybody
fun.
gets to have a coin belt and learns
Right.
different moves, which kind of loosen up the body, and because all women hold their stress right here, do a little exercise
There
there,
you
a little
go.
shimmy. A little
And
shimmy
you
to start your
also
day.
had someone with a big gong.
Oh yes,
What was
Journey.
that about?
That is gong immersion, and she plays the gong, and that musical vibration just takes you down to the cellular level, and just,
Oh,
you can
you
feel
could
it.
feel it.
Yeah. I hope she's going to be able to make it because she usually starts out the festivals.
And the drum circle does the same thing for me.
Yeah.
It really
I thought that
resonates.
would be a great way to end that up.
That'd be amazing. And the Esperanza Foundation, your vision, when you take this to the forest, are you taking many people with you? Would I be able to go and spend a week there, a month? Will there be facilities for me to camp, or
Oh.
how would I?
Well, the one I have in mind, which I just had a meeting yesterday. Oh, I'm so excited. Okay, but yes, there will be opportunities to do that. We're going to have a few immersion options. One of a longer term, because and what we want to do is facilitate people to come, and not because they can't afford it. So that's why we're looking for donations and benefactors. So we can operate this and not have to get our income off the client,
Right.
you know?
It's tremendous.
And that's really important, because when you're really down there, you can't function. And how,
Right.
a lot of healing retreats are 4 to 12 grand
Yeah.
a week. And so I couldn't, at the moment I can't do that, but I wanted to offer them at a sometimes maybe a scholarship.
Oh.
So there'll be work for that. And then
Oh, good.
in the front part would be the resort, in which we facilitate other events, weekend-long events, with a grocery store selling our product, having maybe a little art studio with art therapy products we have. I mean, there's just so many ideas going through my
Oh
head.
my gosh.
It's called putting a little
I might
bow.
have to bring my shopping cart and
Oh,
do
yeah.
my artwork there.
Oh,
That would be fun.
please. Oh,
That would
definitely.
be fun.
Yeah.
I know that there are Buddhist retreats in California that this sounds similar to, and how healing those
Oh.
are. Just chopping vegetables, baking bread.
Yeah, exactly.
doing
Simple
watercolors,
things like
simple
that.
things, back to the basics.
Back to the basics, digging in the dirt,
Oh.
planting a little seed, and
Yeah.
hopefully we'll have a growing section. I want to see if we can make a winter, I don't know about
There you
under
go.
12 feet of snow in the mountains, but do a little greenhouse.
Wow, and you talked about a parade in the town where you're planning to do this, where people
Well,
decorate.
the one I got my eye on, yeah, the mountain is already alive with all the people that visit, just because of the pure beauty. I mean, their motto is, it's a slice of heaven, and that's what's presently on our plate right now, and we're gonna go for it.
Oh my
because-
gosh.
And I met the owners, have just cared, putting tons of love and
Oh,
upkeep and redoing, because it was,
that's amazing.
I could go on and on, but.
Yes, you could.
Yeah, not too many kitties out of the
Oh.
bag.
So you're going to have a flyer for the Festival of Earthly Creations?
Yes.
And they can reach you? Do you have a website?
Our website is in work. We're working on an interactive website where we can have all of the schedules for our workshops and showcasing visiting goddesses, resident goddesses, healers from all around. So we not only welcome the clients, we welcome other healers and who do a lot of the same thing but different in their sector, which makes it all that much powerful. We all put our little spin on it.
So if people are interested in helping you with your foundation, they can come to the Goddess Shop, or can they call you?
They can come to the Goddess Shop at 112 East John Street, or call me at 775-443-0655, or email at thegoddessshopee, SHOPPE, @gmail.com,
Good.
or get a hold of you.
Or get a hold of me.
Yeah.
I will have the flyer at Bridger Mountain inside the Carson Mall. We're at the north end inside. And stop by and see us. There's always something crazy going on here.
And you do so much too in this community.
Oh, we try. We're currently raising funds for at least 3 of the Special Olympians to participate in the polar plunge.
Oh,
So,
fabulous.
last year we sold candy in the store, but only 2 of us were eating it all, so
Yeah,
we
selling candy.
decided we shouldn't. do
That's
that
not
anymore.
safe.
That's not safe. Well, I look forward to spending a day at the Goddess Shop
Please do
and starting my transformation. That would be amazing.
I would be honored.
Have a great day. And thanks again for joining Shop Talk. We'll see you next time.
Come by to do some shopping at Bridger Mountain.
Morning, welcome to Shop Talk. We're at Bridger Mountain Boutique this morning with Kim Coppell.
Hi.
Hi, Kim. And we are inside the Carson Mall. We'd love to have you come and visit us. And today we're going to talk about Kim's historical love of the Sierra Nevada area, and especially around Genoa. And I understand that you have lived in this area over half your life?
Yeah, over half my life, Colleen. And thank you for having me on the show. You have a beautiful shop.
Thank you.
Yeah, I was born and raised for a bit at Donner Lake, California, and then moved to the San Francisco Bay Area to finish up school. And then eventually, after about a decade, I began working my way back, through different venues, and ended up in the last 3 years coming over the hill and moved down right there into Genoa, Nevada.
So it's beautiful there.
It is. I'm very, very fortunate. Very fortunate.
And there's a lot of history there. I understand you're a member of several boards that have to do with historical preservation.
Yes, I am. I mean, somehow I got roped into them, but in all honesty, because I love history, and I get involved in anything about history where I live. I eventually, and I like to be active in whatever I join, and being on a board, takes dedication, but you have influence, maybe a little bit more influence than,
Sure.
than an average volunteer, and that's not to take away from volunteers, but yeah, the Lake Tahoe Historical Society, which is at the south shore of Lake Tahoe, and then in Carson Valley, we have the Douglas County Historical Society, so I serve on their board. And the National Pony Express Association, which is dedicated to the history of the very brief venue of the Pony Express. I serve on their board. And also in Genoa, we have a really wonderful group of people, not to say that the other people aren't wonderful, but the Friends of Snowshoe Thompson Association, and that helps keep the history of Snowshoe Thompson alive. So I'm very honored to serve on all of those boards with wonderful people.
I was especially intrigued by Snowshoe Thompson, and many of our viewers might not know what he did. Can you tell us about Snowshoe?
Oh, I'd love to tell you about Snowshoe Thompson. He was known as the mailman of the Sierra, and there's lots of ways to look up his entire history, but just very briefly, there was a need in in the early 1850s, around 1856, 57, to get mail from Placerville over to Genoa. And they had a terrible, terrible winter. And he signed up for the job because in Norway, when he was a small boy, he got around everywhere on what they called snowshoes, or we call them skis, but they're like 10 feet, and they referred to as longboards sometimes. But anyway, for 20 years, he carried the mail back and forth between Placerville and Genoa, and in the worst of winters on his back. And I like to call him a gnarly Norwegian because he accomplished this without having to have any extra blankets or anything to pamper him when he had to spend the night. It took him 3 days to get from Genoa to Placerville because of the grade, 2 days to get back. And he eventually settled in Genoa and became a rancher out by Diamond Valley, married a Genoa woman, had a child, and he did other things. He was a miner. And passed away in 1876 of pneumonia, and we 2 years later, figured out it was really appendicitis. But he's buried in the Genoa Cemetery. You can visit his grave. Many people do and honor him.
I know we talked about the fact that he got from Genoa to Placerville and back without GPS.
Yes. Yeah,
How did
never
he do
got
that?
lost. Well, I think, Colleen, that in today's world we have so many electronic devices, and we have cars, and we have maps that are commercially printed, and GPS and all that, that we just kind of follow that. But back then, when they didn't have buildings and street corners and references, people, especially the pioneers, were much more in tune with getting around by landmarks, the stars, the sun, the directions. They follow that like we follow a regular map from AAA,
Another thing that I was intrigued by is the fact that you're a part of the Pony Express and maybe even riding a portion of it this year.
Yes, I hope to ride a portion of it this year. And yes, there are no known women riders back in 1860 and 61, but that's when it operated for 18 months. And that had to do mostly with the fact that the war between the states was coming, and we were kind of an island out here from, what they called the old states. West of the Mississippi, the settlement, from California and over into Nevada territory was isolated, and so they had to find a quicker method than 25 days, which was by stagecoach at that time. The telegraph was being built, but it wasn't connected yet, and so they came up with an idea. These three gentlemen that were part of a freighting company came up with an idea to get the Pony Express horses relayed with the riders, 10 days from St. Joseph, Missouri to San Francisco,
Oh my goodness.
and vice versa simultaneously. And so eventually, like I said, it lasted 18 months. It was the telegraph that put it out of business, but along about the 1970s, a group of men in California, around Pollock Pine, sat down and said, the history and the trail is disappearing. What can we do to keep it alive? And so they formed the National Pony Express Association, and at that time only men could join because they wanted it to be authentic, but the men were all like in their 50s and 60s and weighed over 200 pounds. And the original riders were young men who were average 20 years old and weighed no more than about 120 pounds. So eventually women, who are the majority of horseback riders, in this day and age, got in there by saying, well, there may have been no women riders, but there were no men riders of your age. And today we have, when we do the rewrite in June, because we reenact the whole thing in 10 days, we have over 700 participants, several from other countries, and the majority of them are women.
And what distance do they go?
Oh, there's an average, depending upon where we're riding, which we try to follow the exact trail. Sometimes it goes through cities, and here in Nevada we have most of the original trail that we can ride on. Anywhere from 2 miles about to 5 or 7. It depends on the skill of the rider and the need and the terrain. Yeah.
And the whole trail is
2,000 miles from, between Sacramento and St. Joseph, Missouri. So it takes that many riders to relay. And we have a mochila, just like they did back then, that has mail that actually you all can send a letter via Pony Express today. Yeah.
That would be great fun. Another thing that happens in Genoa is a ghost tour.
Oh, yeah.
Can you talk about that?
I sure can. In the audience, we have our friend Sandie La Nae, who actually started it. She's to blame. But Sandie, I'm sure you've seen, shows here on the Community Access TV. She has her own show, Psychic Creations, and she's been a guest on my show, Western History Live, and on your show. But she's a psychic and a paranormal investigator, and she's one of the founders of Thin Veil Investigators, based here in Carson City. And I ran into her during a ghost walk when I was a docent on a Carson City ghost walk, and I was intrigued, and so I asked her some questions, and she helped me learn how to investigate, and eventually there was an opening, and she invited me to join the team. Well, after that, I needed to start a business and didn't want to, do a clerical job like I'd done all my life, and so she and my significant other, Doyle Harris, encouraged me to start a walking tour business, but a ghost tour business, because we had investigations that she had been on in Genoa, and so we knew of real hauntings and paranormal happenings there, and it's just expanded over the last 3 years. And we generally run it May through October. It's a walking tour, it takes about 2 hours. And there's a lot of history in Genoa, because you mentioned that, and it's the oldest settlement in Nevada. It's on the Pioneer Trail, so you can imagine everything that's happened there. And Sandie can join the tour when, by request, or, we have special tours that we take special groups on, and she helps. When she's not there, I can identify what she's found and what store owners and business owners have found, because the stories just keep coming to us. But when she's there, it comes firsthand. She can tell people how she discovered this or identified that when she was doing an actual investigation. So it's fun. It's 2 hour, beautiful 2 hour walk through Genoa. Even if you're not into the ghosts, the history is wonderful and built into it. So we've been able to tailor it for an entire family. Actually.
Oh, that would be great.
Yeah. So you got to come on our tour.
I will.
We'll get Sandie to come.
There you go.
Okay.
And you also have Cobweb Palace Productions?
Well, I'm a partner in that production company business, and my partner, Lisa Bomarito, has a background in theater and stage, community theater and stage, and costumes.
Her costumes are gorgeous.
And so we so far have produced one play together, and it's always whatever we do is going to be history-based. The one that we did last year, we're going to do a little bit of it again this year, is called Women of the Wild West. Eiley Bowers and Julia Bula.
Oh, very good.
So I'll let you know when it's playing again.
And the women's suffragettes, have you?
Yeah, well, I'm doing something with the Douglas County Historical Society, celebrating the 100th anniversary of the women's right to vote in Nevada. And it's called Women in History, and it's March 22nd. But I get to portray Lillian Virgin Finnegan, who, until I get to portray her at this event, most people only associate her with the beginning of the candy dance in Genoa in 1990.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Wow. And the candy dance has been how many years now?
Oh, it's in its 94th, 5th, I can't, well, since 1919, and I'm not good with, counting quickly. So it's been since 1919. It always happens the last weekend in September. And there are a couple other events that go on in and around that, like the Peddler's Fair at the Dake House, which Sandie's involved in, and at La Ferme Restaurant. Usually Gilles has something going on there, and at the White House Bed and Breakfast, Phil Stoll has a crafts fair going on there. So there is so much to do that weekend.
There certainly is.
Yeah, starting from just trying to raise money for streetlights to be electrified in 1919.
And anything you can tell us that's going on with the Lake Tahoe Historical Society? Are you planning any events this summer?
Yes, we are. Now, we don't have an exact date yet, but by the end, probably like one of the last Thursdays in July, we're going to have a Chautauqua Festival. McAvoy Lane will be involved. He plays Mark Twain, so a lot of people know of him. I'm going to portray a character. Steve Hale, who usually portrays Snowshoe Thompson, might be involved. We'll have some headliners, so I'll keep you posted on that.
That would be wonderful.
Yeah, and that's going to be a lot of fun.
And how can people reach you? Do you have a website? Or?
Yeah, I have a website. If you're interested in Genoa Historic Ghost Tours, you can get a hold of me at any time by calling me at 775-220-0605. My email address is info@genoahistoricghosttours.com, so there's 2 T's there. The website that I have is Genoa Historic Ghost Tours. And Western History Alive, I don't have a specific website for that, but everything that I've mentioned, I have a Facebook page for too. So if you're interested in anything to do with, the TV show, if somebody out there thinks that they might have a good premise for the TV show, that would be good. Or if they want to know where we have some, Western History Alive performances going on, you just call me or email
that would be
me.
wonderful.
Yeah.
And the TV program, again, the name
Is Western History Alive, and it's on the same community access TV channel. And that Western History Alive is basically focused on sharing history through a creative way of performance, or the show itself is blending the history of the past creatively with its relevance to the present. Yeah.
That's wonderful. Is there anything else you'd like to touch upon that we have missed? That people should tune into with you?
Oh, I just think follow, if you're interested in the paranormal, which the paranormal is history. These people have gone before us, and they help us put together some of the puzzles to the pieces when, say, Sandie and I go on an investigation, or our group goes on an investigation, and we know some history about the place, and when we can make contact with somebody that's there, a lot of times, twice on my tour's been enhanced by being able to put pieces together. And then eventually finding out that, yes, that was the truth when we were able to find more printed information. But anyway, I would just like to say, if you're interested in the paranormal or history, I can put you in touch with several different people that can help you with that.
That would be fun.
And thank you for having me on your show today.
Thank you so much.
It was very nice meeting you. Like I said, your shop is wonderful.
I
I'm
look
going to go
forward
shopping.
to watching your program as well, and going on your ghost tour.
Well, you're welcome, and I'm going to be catching more of your shows too.
Oh, thank you.
Congratulations on starting your show.
Thank you. And once again, thank you for joining us at Bridger Mountain this morning. Kim Coppell.